In this video, I'm going to show you some routine steps that I take in order to keep an Ariens Snowblower working and looking like new. Stick around. Hey guys and gals, welcome to Garage Gear. I'm JB, giving you the best tips and tricks to survive life in and out of the garage. And before we doll this snowblower up, if you're feeling the vibe and you want to be part of the tribe, subscribe. These instructions will not only be good for Ariens snowblowers, but for other brands as well. And I need to show you something. Both of these snowblowers are the same age. Both are approximately 9 years old, and other than having slightly different engines, both of these are nearly identical. And this one on the left is my neighbor's. It's Brian's, and he lives there. I've done a few other videos recently on his snowblower, including how to change oil and adjust the belt tensioner to make your snowblower throw farther. I'll have those videos linked down below in the description. Mine has been meticulously cleaned after every season and protected throughout the season to keep it in tip-top shape. Being 9 years old now, it only has a few minor rust spots, mainly along the scraper bar here on the bottom, a few pits here inside the chute, and inside the impeller housing, and that is how it's looked for a long time, and it stayed that way because I keep protecting it. Now, this is not to toot my own horn here, but this is to show you how little protective steps throughout the season can actually help you maintain your snowblower year after year. Now, here's a look at my neighbors. Taking a look at the scraper bar, we see lots more rust. Big spot over here, rust spots throughout the impeller housing, rust spots on the gearbox, rust getting started here on the augers, rust starting on the housing, some rust forming around these bolts. Down inside the chute, we got some rust down here, around the base of the chute, on the back panels, and on the cables and its other components. A few spots here on the engine as well. Not to mention, all the controls are very tight. This chute doesn't even want to turn well. Even these controls are a little stiff. Now that's enough picking on the neighbor's snowblower, and I understand that I can go overboard on some of this stuff, but by taking these quick little steps here and there, you can make your snowblower last a very long time. I will give my neighbor credit where credit is due though. Every season, my neighbor told me that he takes car wax and he coats this whole front body in the chute. And we can see because we see some car wax residue here, a little up there, some in the crevices here. But where this machine is starting to suffer is in all those little areas. And those little areas can make a big difference. Let's begin by putting some cardboard down because this can get a little messy. You can also unplug the startup key or the spark plug to prevent any unnecessary startups. Safety first, we're not taking any chances here. Now, if your snowblower needs a rinse, hose it out if necessary. This machine is fairly clean, so let's get to the good stuff. Let's start here with the augers and any heavy rust spots inside this housing. Heavy rust spots will get a coat of fluid film. I like fluid film for its rust prevention and protection. I'm going to spray it on liberally. Next, I'm going to spray the rest of the inside with liquid wrench silicone. This will provide a slick coating that snow cannot stick to. This silicone spray dries flat, so it does not appear to be oily or wet. It also creeps into tight crevices as well. For the next part, I'm going to tip the snowblower up. This is an area that 95% of snowblower owners skip over. This area is showing some heavy rust spots. Let's hit it with some fluid film. Next, let's do inside the chute. I'm going to use some white lithium grease at the base of the chute to help it spin a little bit better. I'm then going to spray the rest of the chute with silicone. This is a high impact area, so coat it well. Spray well down into the hole to prevent snow from sticking. Up top by the chute is the gearbox that helps the chute spin. I removed the cover and then applied some Lucas Oil marine grease. This should do a good job lubricating the gears and help it spin better. I'll tell you what, that spins a hell of a lot better than it did before. Wow! Next up is the exterior side of the auger housing, the impeller housing, and the exterior of the chute. I'm starting to see some rust forming on the inside of these edges here along the sides, as well as around the chute. These are great places for moisture and metal to get freaky, so it's a good idea to put some fluid film in there and prevent it from happening. Once those areas are done, spray and wipe the rest of the surfaces down with silicone. Next, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull up this rubber boot and I'm gonna put my straw on my liquid wrench and I'm gonna squirt it down into this cable. That will work its way down and help prevent any rusting from taking place. Then just reinsert the boot. Now let's focus on the wheels. When I see this orange rust film on these wheels, I like to use WD-40. I'll spray them down and wipe them off. The wheels always look great and are protected after that. Plus, WD-40 makes a great tire shine on most tires. Time to hit the panels now behind the wheels. This area is usually dirty, so WD-40 strikes again. Spray it down and wipe it all quickly with a rag. The wheel axles needed some protection badly, so these got some fluid film too. Time to tend to the engine. This engine is made of plastic and metal components. For engines, I like to spread a thin layer of automatic transmission fluid. Some of the metal parts do get hot. If it gets hot, I generally avoid it, or I'll put a very, very, very thin layer of automatic transmission fluid on it. If it does get hot enough, this will generally burn off without any issues. Any bolts that look a little rusty will also get some fluid film. Also, electrical connections like this, I will typically hit with some fluid film just like this inside, because as moisture or snow melts and runs down these wires, it tends to corrode those little connections. Fluid film is great at keeping connections, so this is a great protectant to spray in there. Handlebars will get coated with WD-40. This gets into any crevices nicely. Everything is getting wiped down. And finally, let's do the controls. Be sure to hit the springs underneath. This will help to keep everything moving. That moves way more freely. Take your silicone and straw and spray down the cables. This will keep the cables sliding nicely and prevent rusting. Give all the cables and components a good once over. This Ariens is now fully coated and ready for snow. Very little snow should be sticking to this snowblower for some time. Everything's all freed up now and seems to move a lot better. Now you may be asking, JB, how often should I do all this? Well, if you did this once at the end of the season or at the beginning of the season, great. I typically spray down WD-40 and silicone throughout the season, maybe every other use, to really protect my snowblower. The proof is in the pudding, people. Take care of your machine and it'll take care of you. Follow these steps and you'll add plenty of years of life to your Ariens Snowblower. If you enjoyed this video, give me one of these. For more cool garage gear content, check out my links right here. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the garage.